Welcome to week 4 of our Lent homily series, Redirecting Our Hearts, in which we're focusing on the worship pillar of our Following Jesus theme. When we acknowledge God as the source and praise Him as the creator who loved us into being, we then, I think, have to take the next step of letting go of our agendas and discovering God's dream for our lives. I think this is a natural outcome of the first part of the Great Commandment, to love God with all our mind, all our heart, and all our strength. Many of us know from experience, fully committed love changes everything about how we live. I think placing God at the center also entails discovering His dream for our lives, going after it. And that's because we can and should make our very lives an act of worship. The way you and I live can be itself an act of worship through our work, actions, service, and gratitude to God. In the second reading from this past weekend, St. Paul said, "Live as children of light, for light produces every kind of goodness and righteousness and truth. Try to learn what is pleasing to the Lord. Take no part in the fruitless works of darkness." He's telling us to live in a way that is pleasing to God. I think another way of saying that is making our lives an act of worship. In our daily lives, we can strive to produce every kind of goodness and righteousness and truth and live in the light, day in and day out. We have the opportunity to be pleasing to God in each day, each moment, each interaction, each thought. Worship isn't just for Sunday. Jesus also connected our daily lives to worship Himself. He said we should reconcile with our brother before coming to the altar. I think that implies that being worshipful is directly connected to our daily lives. In the gospel reading from this past weekend, Jesus gives sight to a blind man. And towards the beginning of that reading, the disciples ask Jesus, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" You see, they think that the man is suffering from blindness because he's being punished for sin. But Jesus answered, "Neither he nor his parents sinned. It is so that the works of God might be made visible through him." And I think that when we commit to making our lives an act of worship to God, when we decide that we're going to act, think, and speak in a way that's pleasing to God, our lives, including the difficulties that we carry, like the blind man, can be a way of making the works of God visible to others. And I hope that as you continue this journey of redirecting our hearts, you find opportunities to make more and more moments in your daily routine into opportunities to worship God with your life. And don't forget to help others make the most of their Lent through these videos by liking them, sharing them with people you know, and subscribe yourself. I'll see you next week as we keep moving together through this Lenten season.